So we got Illini, basketball, and football. We got NASCAR. You know what else we have?
Yes,
Nobody else.
I know.
We got Chicago Fire.
Yes, I know. I'm excited.
No, it's great. And I personally believe that after hearing it my entire life and seeing kids on every soccer field all season long, America has gone a little bit soccer crazy, and that's nothing but good news for the Fire.
Absolutely.
And Dave Baldwin, who's here, President of Business Operations for the Fire. First, welcome back to a new season.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here, and we're excited to be back on the WLS airwaves.
Happy to have you. A full season schedule ahead. Let's get to the obvious stuff first. How do people get tickets to the games?
Yeah, just go check out ChicagoFireFC.com. We have a ticket link on there. We're expecting almost 25,000 people this Saturday night. Game's at 7:30, and it's looking like it's going to be good weather. I know the weather's been a little crazy over the last 48 hours, but
Saturday looks fabulous.
Yeah, should be back up into the 60s.
Oh, it's going to be great.
For people that don't follow the MLS religiously, who are the favorites this year?
Well, I think there's a couple. Columbus won this last year, and so they're back, and that's obviously going to be
They're
a
cheaters,
big
by the way, Andre. I don't know if you know that they're cheaters, and they don't like their grandmothers. Yeah.
Also, Inter Miami is pretty popular right now. They have Lionel Messi, and so
what's he ever done?
I know, right? So that's a big draw, and it'll be an interesting season for sure.
You know what I love is the rise in popularity of the sport over the past, decade, I would say, because it's equal opportunity. Like young girls are playing it, young boys are playing it, and then they're growing up and then becoming the fan base, which is wonderful.
For sure. Yeah, I think, when we look at it, soccer's fastest growing sport in America. Obviously, a lot of that begins with the youth movement. And then to your point around MLS, we've had almost a dozen expansion franchises here in the last decade. So a sport that is rapidly growing.
Well, Messi in Miami, the Beckham documentary last year, the fact that Beckham has a big chunk, if he doesn't own all of it, I don't know what the financials are there. He's not sharing it with me. But it obviously helps, brings attention to the league. But let's talk about the Fire specifically. It's a young club.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
But ready for prime time? You tell me.
I think so. It's an interesting mix of some guys that were with us last year, and then we added some new talent from the outside. A gentleman named Kellen Acosta, who's in his late 20s, won a cup with LAFC. And
they call him Grandpa.
He's had over 50 caps for the U.S. men's national team, so he's a midfielder. We also signed Hugo Kuipers. Hugo was one of the top 10 scorers across the world over the last couple of years. He scored 50 goals in the last 90 matches, so he's joining the MLS. He just had his debut with us this last week. A couple other guys that have joined. So I think it's a good mix of some free agents that are coming in, some top talent that are helping round out the current club. And then what that means is we have guys who started for us last year who received really valuable minutes who are now going to be key players coming off the bench. And so it's a good mix of current experience and then bringing in some stars from the outside.
And you got to keep it out of the net. Who's in net?
So Chris Brady is our starter. He's actually from Naperville originally, so it's cool to have a Chicago kid in goal. And, I would not be shocked if Chris is not only one of the top goalies this year in MLS, but in the next couple of years makes his way over to Europe because he's definitely a star in the making.
Yeah, they're sniffing him.
And for no specific reason, I'm going to be watching Yorgos again this year. He made his debut last year.
Would you like me to share with the audience what you called him?
No.
We're in the middle of the break. She's going, there's my little Greek boy.
Well, he's ours, in all fairness, because he's Chicago's now. So,
but he's got all the skills. He's ready to go. He's not just getting it for the baklava. He's there because he deserves to be there.
Absolutely.
But it's also great because bring out that Greek crowd.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about soccer, right? Is it's such a diverse group, and I think we have one of the most diverse teams across MLS, right? We have I think over a dozen different nationalities represented on the club. So.
How cool is that?
Who is going to surprise the league? You mentioned some of the people to watch for, but you've got guys on this team now who, are impressing the coach, and maybe then they showed up. You didn't know how good they are. I mean, I'm talking about fans ought to look at this person.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple. I think I'll actually give you one that will be interesting, which is Xherdan Shaqiri, who's one of our star players, but maybe didn't have the season that he wanted last year. I think with the elevated talent around him, you're going to see him really take a step forward and perform like the star that he is. He's been amazing in international play. He's been in the last several World Cups and scored and had assists. When we played Miami last year, he had 2 really key goals late in the game. So I think you'll actually see him elevate his play. And then Unfortunately, this guy was dealt an injury in the first game, but assuming he's going to be okay, I think Andrew Gutman, who's returning to Chicago, came up through the Fire program, kind of played through some of the youth years with us, and then went through a couple teams in MLS. We just traded for him from the Colorado Rapids, and he was looking really, really good in preseason, had several assists. Unfortunately, dealt a little bit of a knock in the opener, but hopefully if he gets back healthy, I think he's going to surprise some folks.
He's a local guy, too, from Hinsdale.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's
absolutely.
one of our very own, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Premier League teams have made a mini industry of having their own minor league set up for each of the clubs. If you think of baseball, where they've got youth and they got guys they're recruiting in Europe at the age of 10, 11, 12. They teach them how to play the game at the highest level, and they grow them in-house.
Right.
You guys, to me, have one of the best soccer summer camp setups in sports. So for parents listening and they want to get their kids involved with summer camps, what do they do?
Yeah, it's a good point. So we have a really robust youth soccer program. It's actually the largest in MLS. We obviously have the academy program, which is for the top talent, players 14, 15 years old that are trying to make the big league club. But then on top of that, we have a pay-to-play program across all of Chicagoland. We have Fire Pitch, which is a location that we own, but almost 25,000 youth play in our program. And then to your point, Steve, in the off-season, we have a great summer camps program. So I have 3 little boys, a 5.5, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and I'm excited to get my oldest into to our camp program this summer. So check it out on our website, and you can see all the details there.
That's awesome. We were asking, too, about the grass at Soldier Field, and they replaced that after all the concerts and everything. This is the home turf. But you said something kind of interesting, is that it's a new kind of a grass, which, to your point, helps prevent injuries. This is fantastic.
Yeah, a year or two ago, Soldier Field and the grounds crew there, they started looking at the different grass, just knowing that there was more use between the Bears, the concerts, now the Fire were playing there, and they changed out the grass. And
plus, I like to have a picnic there. I'll bring in a picnic table and a few hundred.
No, I don't know if they want you on the pitch.
All right.
Steve, I think I might get in trouble if you pop by with a picnic table. So
we will prevent that, trust me, from you going on the field.
Okay, sorry.
Unless invited, of course.
But it is important, because if people think of Bears complaints about the field and the condition of the field, that is something that's looked at regularly. It makes sense, but it's good to hear you say it.
Yeah, and I actually think this last year, I forget the guy's name, David Baltieri, I think he's a lineman for the Packers, and he had come out and said this is the best that he's ever seen the field.
And he's typically a whiner.
Your words, not mine.
So many of the Packers are. Wait, I'm being told he's in the hallway. All right, so important thing before we let you go.
Sure.
When are the games available for people to see, to stream? Obviously, check the schedule out online. Can you go back and see matches that have been played on demand? Talk about that.
Yeah, so last year, the MLS signed a new 10-year deal with Apple TV. And so there's a program called MLS Season Pass on Apple TV where you can stream any of the matches across 150 different countries. You can stream them live. You can also watch replays, to your point. And then they also have like a condensed replay if you only want to see a 4 or 5 minute version. So in the event that you cannot make it down to Soldier Field and you don't have access to a radio to listen to it on WLS, but pull it up on your phone or your connected device, you can check it out there on Apple TV. And then if you're driving and you can't watch it, we want to make sure that you're listening to it here on the radio.
And the most important question I could ask, the fan base wants to know about these kits.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
I love this, man. I love this. But this is the design now. We're not changing this.
No, this is it.
This is it.
We're back to red. This was really important.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this was really important to our fan base, to our owner, Joe Mansueto. We came back with a brand new red kit that pays homage to the old kits that the Fire wore in the early years.
That's awesome.
And on top of that.
But they don't look like retro unis, you know what I mean?
No.
The NFL guys wear the old uniforms, you go, oh, that's delightful.
That's right. It has a little bit of a modern flair.
They look cool.
Yeah, it does.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, Carvana's our new front of kit partner, big sponsorship with them. We're excited to have them supporting us this year, and they're obviously a great company to work with for a really frictionless experience.
And here's the thing. They have a player vending machine. On the sidelines as well. It's a Carvana-inspired one. And when guys actually go into the game, coach presses a button.
They go down the elevator.
Yeah, you need a new player. You just hit the
There
button.
you
I like
go.
that. That's a good one.
Yeah, marketing. For everything Fire, where do you want people to go?
Go check out ChicagoFireFC.com. Again, 25,000 people expected this Saturday. We have a lot of theme nights, so a full litany of great matches this year. We're excited to have everyone come on out.
Yeah,
Awesome.
well, we're excited to partner with you and to bring you the games. But stay in touch with the team all year long. ChicagoFireFC.com. And, of course, we'll talk about it here. And I'm waiting. I thought, I opened up this very nice box of goodies that they brought us, and I'm still looking. Did you get a contract? I thought I'd have a contract.
I did. Did you not? Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that later, maybe.
I thought they were looking for, because he said if you fall down in goal because of your age, we have a chance to get the defense back into position.
Mine says don't ever let Steve near the goal.
Okay, well, that's two ways
Unless
to
he
look at
brings
it.
the picnic table, then it's okay.
Exactly, right?
There's two ways to look at it.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, man. Have a great season, and nice to have you guys in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.